Okay, we have the next statement that we are going to talk about is SQL alter table statement. The alter table statement is being used to add, delete, modify columns in an existing table. The syntax for it would be alter table, the name of the table, add column name, and then the data type. To delete a column in a table, we used the following syntax, such as alter table, table name, drop the column name. So instead of add, we use drop for deleting a column into the table. So let's try this. Again, this is another command that we cannot practice on W3 School, but we can just see how they are using it. We can say alter table, the persons, and then we will add date, birth date. So this is the column, and then this is the value. And then the results will be this. So the persons table will look like this. You will have the date of birth, and then the data type is date will be added in there. And if you want to delete it rather than add, you will use drop. So you will delete this. But we cannot practice it on W3 schools, so we can just show you how the command is working here. So alter table, persons, and then use the drop, the column, the name of the column is date of birth. As you can see in here, the date of birth column got dropped or got deleted. To change the data type of a column in a table, we can use the following syntax, but in SQL Server, MS Access, MySQL, Oracle, and Oracle 10G, the command is a little bit different. So for SQL Server and MS Access, we can use alter table, the name of the table, alter column, the column name, data type. For MySQL Oracle, we have to use modify, column name, and then the data type. So column name, and then the data type. And for Oracle 10G and later, we use the alter and modify. So this is a persons table, as I showed you before. So, and this is again another example that we just used. If we want to add the date of birth with the data type in it, we just put add date of birth, and then the data type is date. And if we want to change the data type of that column, we can use alter table, the name of the table, which is persons, and then we use the alter the column, date of birth, and then rather than having date, we will put year. So we change the data type, but we have to put this syntax in there if you are using the SQL command. If you are going to use the MySQL command, we will use modify rather than alter in here. So if you are using MySQL environment, we will use modify rather than alter here. Now let's look at the command for SQL drop index. The drop index statement is used to delete an index in a table. Drop index, you can put the index name on table name. Again, in MySQL, it's a little bit different than DB2, Oracle, and MySQL and SQL Server. So in Access, we use the drop index, the index name on table name. in MS Access, we use drop index, the table name dot index underscore name. And the syntax for DB2 is a little bit different. We use drop index name. And MySQL, it's a little bit different. We use the alter table name, and then drop index name. So it depends to what environment you are using. The drop index in the syntax is a little bit different in each environment. The drop table statement, we can use the drop table and then the table name. The drop database statement, we will use drop database and then the name of our database. So we cannot use delete. This is something that a lot of people, they might just use delete. Delete command doesn't work in SQL. It's called drop. The next command that we are going to talk about is SQL group by command. The group by statement is used in conjunction with the aggregate function to group the results set by one or more columns. We can create group of records that share a common characters. So we can use the group by clause, which indicates the grouping in the SQL. Having clause is to group what the where clause is to rows. So the group by, we use it with having. Let's look at the syntax. We use select the common name, the aggregate function, the column name from table, where the column name, the value, group by that column name. So let's look at the example. Sometimes the syntax might not mean anything to us. So let's look at the example of how we use the group by. So we can have a select the column, the rep num, and maybe we have other things that we want the average, and also we want the count. From the name of our table, which is customer, group by that column, group by the rep number. We want it to be grouped by the rep, having the average balance smaller than $2,000. So we only want to show the group with an average balance less than $1,000. And then we will talk about order by. Order by is the sort function. So then we want it to also be sorted by this column, which is the rep number. So as you can see here, the records are being grouped by rep. So the rep 15 will have these average balances, and rep 45 will have these average balances. So it's going to be, the records are going to be grouped by that with that column, which is the rep number. Now let's look at the SQL join statement. SQL join clause is used to combine rows from two or more tables based in a common field between them. The most common type of join that we use is called inner join, which is a simple join. So an SQL inner join returns all rows from multiple tables where the join condition is being met. So let's look at the example. The syntax for it, we will use we will basically use the select command, and then we get our, for example, attributes such as column name, customer name, number, rep. And so we can actually put it here, all the fields that we want from the two tables that we are going to get. Some of these data we are going to get it from the customer, and some of them we are going to get it from the rep table. So there are two tables in our query, where customer dot rep number equals rep dot rep number. This is the condition where the join meets. That means that the rep number is common in both of these tables. So this is the condition to join the table, and this is a simple join. And then we have this one, we don't even need to have it, but in here they want it to be sorted by customer numbers. So these would be the results. So as you can see, you get some fields from the customer table and some fields from the rep table. And as we said, because we are using the order by, it's going to be sorted by customer number. So let's look at the SQL join on W3 website. So we can click on SQL join, and you can see here we said that one of the simplest join is called inner join, that returns all rows from multiple tables when the condition is met. So in this example, you can see that you have some information in this table, in order table, and some in customers table. So we want to join these two tables together. As you can see here, we are going to use the select orders.order ID. So this is the name of the table, dot order ID, the fields that we are going to have. This is the name of the table, the field that we are going to have, and this is the name of the orders table, the order date from orders table. We can also use inner join customers. So we are going to get it from the orders table and join it with the customer. This is the condition where it's going to be met. Order.customer ID equals customers.customer ID. So you can see this is another way that we can write our inner join. Both of these ways are correct. So we can just try this. And we can just say run, and as you can see, we got the records from the order ID from the orders table, customer name from the customer table, and order date from the orders table. Because we used the select, as you can see. So we got the orders ID from the orders table, customer name from the customers table, and order date from the orders table. And then we got them from these two tables, but sometimes we can just use orders customer, and where orders.customer ID equals to customers.customer ID. But in here we can also use this command inner join customers on. This is where the condition is met. So both of these tables, they have the customer ID. They both have the customer ID. So as we can see in here in our orders table and in our customer table, the condition that is met is customer ID because it's common in both of these. Okay, so that's it for this module. We just covered some of the summary of the SQL commands. We talked about the insert command, we talked about the update command, we talked about the delete command. We also talked about the into clause command to create a table containing the results of the query. We also talked about the compound condition, which we can use the and or. We also talked about the sorting, which we can use the order by. We also talked about the grouping, which we can use the group by clause. We also talked about the join, which we can actually use to join the tables together. There are some other SQL built-in functions that we need to know. Average is one of them. So the average syntax would be SQL av syntax. So we use select average, the column name from the table name. So let's look at this example here. So in this table, we have a products table. So we want to find the average price. So we can say select av price. This is going to be a new field. So as price average. So we are going to call this new field as a price average from products. So let's try it ourselves. we can run this, and you can see that we called it price average. So this is a new field, and it's going to calculate the average. So if we want to calculate the average, we just use AVG, and it's going to calculate the average price. Another SQL command that's built in functions would be count. So for the count, we will use select count the column name from table name. So if we want to if we want to use the syntax, we will use select count open parentheses star close parentheses from table name. So let's look at the example here. This is our demo database, which is an order table. So we want to count the number of orders for customer ID that is 7th. We want to see how many orders this gets. So we can say select count customer ID. This is going to be a new field, and we will call it as orders from customer ID from orders where customer ID equals 7. So let's try it in here. And the order, and so this new field, the count will be 4. So we will have 4 customers that where the customer ID equals to 7. So this SQL statement counts the number of orders from customer ID equals 7 from this order table. So this is the syntax for it, select count. And if we want it to be called a new field, we just use the as and then the name that we want it to have. Another common built-in function is max and min. So the max, we will use select max column name from the table name. So let's look at the example here. We want to, in this example, we have a product table. We want to find the largest value of the price column from this product table. So we want to find the largest value of the price here, because maybe we might have like 50 of these prices and it's hard for us to find the largest value. So we can say select max price and as, so we want to call this new field highest price from our table, which is product table. And then we will run it, and it would be, the highest price would be 263.5. Another common built-in function is min. It's the same as max, so the syntax would be select min column name from table name. And again, this is our product table, and we want to find the smallest value of the price. So we can say select min price as, this is the new field, smallest order price from the name of our table, which is product. We can try it again, and the smallest order price would be 2.5. Another built-in function that is very common is sum. Sum functions return the total sum of a numeric column. So the syntax would be select sum the column name from table name. So let's look at an example here. So again, we are going to use the order details table, as you can see in this example. So we want to find the sum of the quantity field in this table. So we want to find the sum of the quantity field. So we can say select sum quantity, and then we want it to be called total items order. So we want to say as total items order, this is the new field, from orders detail, which is the name of our table. We are going to try it, and then we're going to run, and this would be the total items order 12,743. So this is it for this chapter. We have covered some of the built-in functions for the SQL as well. I hope you have enjoyed this module, and if you have any question, please feel free to email me or call me. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.